The freighter Lyra came from Fredericia in Denmark and drove to Hamburg. Built in 1998, she has a length of 101 meters and a beam of 16 meters. The 13-year-old freighter Gotland measures 85 to 12 meters and came from Swansea in Great Britain. Gretke Oldendorf is a bulk carrier that here came from Hamburg. Her destination was Ust-Luga in the region of St. Petersburg in Russia. She is 229 meters long, 32 meters wide, and 10 years old. The tanker Aragonith has a size of 93 to 15 meters and is 26 years old. Her tour went from Wilhelmshaven to Butzfleth. The 5-year-old tanker Saltstraum is 129 meters long and 20 meters wide. She was sailing from Hamburg to Antwerp. In full sunshine, the Hamburg Express showed herself for the final time on the Elbe, as she will not sail to Hamburg in the future anymore. The container ship is 400 meters long and has a beam of 61 meters. She was built in 2024. I wish an ever safe journey, and always some water under the keel. From Buetzfleth came the tanker Corelli. She was the first ship I ever made a picture of on the Elbe. She has a length of 100 meters, a beam of 14 meters, and was built in 2021. She was on her way to Delfzijl in the Netherlands. The freighter Aries was built in 1996, is 110 meters long and 16 meters wide. She was on her way from Aarhus in Sweden to Hamburg. Fully loaded, the hopper dredger Vitus Bering drove in direction of the North Sea to get rid of her loading there. Vitus Bering is 13 years old, 119 meters long and 23 meters wide. From Fredericia in Denmark came the freighter Nikki. She was built in 2006, has a length of 87 meters and a beam of 13 meters. Underway from Hamburg to Bremerhaven was the MSC Joanna. She is 19 years old, 337 meters long and 46 meters wide. From Rotterdam Maasvlakte came the CMA CGM Jacques Joseph, a 300 meters long and 48 meters wide container ship that was built in 2017. The tanker Norma was sailing from Bietzfleth to Husum in Germany. Her length is 110 meters, her beam 19 meters, and she is 5 years old. (172 to 29 meters is the size of the Songa Panther that was built in 2023. Her destination was Klaipėda in Lithuania. The season 2025 for the catamaran Halunder Jet just had started, so for the first time this year, Halu raced with passengers down the Elbe on her way from Hamburg to Heligoland and back in the evening. Halunder Jet will now drive this tour daily until early November. The catamaran is 7 years old, 57 meters long, 14 meters wide, and has a top speed of 36 knots. The tanker Oratulia was underway to Rotterdam. She was built in 2007, is 107 meters long and 16 meters wide. The container ship MSC Loreto was built in 2023. She came from Rotterdam Maasvlakte, is 400 meters long and 61 meters wide. The feeder ship Gerda came from Hamburg, is 168 meters long, 27 meters wide, and was built in 2009. Her destination was Riga in Latvia. Sailing from Hamburg to Bremerhaven was AIDAnova. The 18-year-old vessel is 149 meters long and 23 meters wide. The 2-year-old freighter Wilson Flex 5 was on tour to La Pallice in France. The ship measures 89 to 14 meters. This is the box mover, CMA-CGM Constanza. She came from Hamburg. Her destination port was Rotterdam. Built in 2010, she is 261 meters long and has a beam of 32 meters. Here the world was still in order. The feeder ship Frederick was underway to Klaipėda in Lithuania. The vessel is 20 years old, 155 meters long and 24 meters wide. Later then, the ship got stuck in the Kiel Canal with an engine failure. The tanker Largo Desert had started her voyage in Hamburg. She is 7 years old, 183 meters long and 32 meters wide. Her tour went to Vlissingen in the Netherlands. Bernhard Schapers was on tour to Aarhus in Denmark. She was built in 2011 and has a size of 152 to 23 meters. Underway from Hamburg to Rauma in Finland was Callisto. She was built in 2005, has a length of 168 meters and a beam of 26 meters. Mist came up and it got suddenly quite colder. There the bulk carrier Caching came by. The vessel is 4 years old, 180 meters long and 30 meters wide. She came from Bremerhaven. From Thames in Great Britain came the container ship APL Columbus. She is 328 meters long, her beam is 45 meters, and she was built in 2014. Sailing to Wilhelmshaven was Elbspring, a 15-year-old feeder ship. She is 158 meters long and 24 meters wide. Lower Express from Hapag-Lloyd is 9 years old, 333 meters long, and has a beam of 48 meters. Her tour went from Rotterdam Maasvlakte to Hamburg. Coming from Klaipėda in Lithuania was Annalisa P. She has a length of 166 meters, a beam of 25 meters, and was built in 2008. This is the Maersk New Delhi. She was sailing under the name Seaspan New Delhi before. The vessel is 209 meters long, 30 meters wide, and 16 years old. She was on her way to Bremerhaven. Then the Ontario Express came by, a 268 meters long and 32 meters wide container ship from Hapag-Lloyd. She was built in 2005 and was on her way to Montreal in Canada. In the evening, the AIDAnova came down the Elbe from Hamburg. The cruise ship was on the city's tour. Her first destination was Rotterdam. The ship was built in 2018 from the Meyer Wharf in Papenburg in Germany. She is 337 meters long and 42 meters wide.